Hey, welcome to another episode of Sis Stop Sulking. I am your host, Miss Tasha Talks Life. I'm your favorite mindset and accountability coach. I help to guide you to your dream life faster by making simple, actionable tweaks to your mind, your body, and your goals. If you are new here, welcome. I'm so excited to have you. Today, I really want to I've been dealing with a lot of, not dealing with, let me say that differently. I've been thinking about a lot of different things. I've been thinking about the way that I want the show, the direction that I want the show to go into, um, how I can spruce it up or, get more guests on because for me, if I'm honest, if I'm so honest, it's easier for me to do a solo episode than to have a guest on only because of the way that I record, and I need to work on that. So, yeah. So I'm doing a lot of thinking. I have my notes here, of course, about how I want that to look. What do I want? Um, how do I want to serve you as the listener? How do I want to continue to develop the show? It's been this is episode 110, and I'm super excited for that. Um, but I need something else. I need something more. I need to do something. So if you have any ideas or any suggestions, please, I'm always open to hearing about them. Leave comments below in the comment section. If you have any ideas for the show, if you have any guests that you would like to see on the show, if you're in the local area, or if you know someone that may align with the vision and mission of the show, please, I'm open to it all because I don't know what it looks like, but change is coming. And so yeah, um, so let's get right into the episode. Today we are talking about um self-care. And I know when you think about self-care, you think about naps, rest, relaxation, massages, mimosas, right? But self-care is a lot deeper than that. There are 7 pillars that I'm going to talk about today on different pillars of self-care that you should know about, you should be focusing on and implementing different strategies and techniques for those 7 pillars to live a life that you truly desire with ease, flow, strategy, tips, practices, and not just thinking about manicures and pedicures and things like that, right? So before I get into it, what are some of your self-care practices that you do? What does it look like? Is it weekly, monthly, daily? What are some of your practices, and what is it some of the things your self-care routine consists of? Uh, and I start each episode with a quote, and this quote is by the amazing Toni Morrison. If you want to fly, you have to give up the things that weigh you down. And when I was searching for a powerful quote, this was the first one that I saw, and this spoke volumes to me because sometimes we are stuck on holding on to things from a season before that may not be suitable or beneficial for our life now. And because of our loyalty, our comfort level, we tend to hold on to things that may be, in fact, weighing us down and prohibiting us from being our greater selves, prohibiting us from living a life that truly embodies our abundance and our purpose and our passions. And so, if you want to fly, you must let go of the things that are weighing you down. Is like, whew, and doing it unapologetically. And so that kind of ties into the 7 pillars of self-care that you need to know about. And so I'm going to get into this, and I can talk about self-care forever. And I really don't want this episode to be long. And I know that I say that all the time. And I think I do pretty well with keeping them under 30 minutes, 20 minutes. But yeah, so I have like this on and off or tug of war with self-care, with genuine self-care, because I believe that even though I know that self-care is very important, but sometimes I'm on a mode of I got to get this done. I got to do this. This has to happen right now. I can do that later. And I know I'm not the only one, and that is so counterproductive with where my goals and what I'm trying to accomplish is, right? So I say that to say, like, finding time daily to pour into yourself, to unplug, reset, refocus, realign, relax is so important, because in that, and you'll see when I get into it, in the self-care is where you're able to refuel, and where you're able to get creative, and where you're able to declutter your mind. And so, yeah. So this weekend, oh my God, this weekend was so busy and so good. I went to, it was actually started during the week. If it was, I want to say maybe a Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday. I linked up my sister cousin and her sister, and we went to the beach for her birthday. And at the beach, first of all, being outside in nature, being by the water, being in the beach, it is my happy place. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do in the wintertime. I promise I don't. So, we went to the beach. It was good company, good laughs, good stories, good energy, and it was the kickstart. I literally woke up the next day feeling like it was Sunday. Like, I felt like I was out on a Saturday night, and it was definitely a weekday. And then I celebrated with my sister. She graduated from her nursing program, and that was a huge deal for her. And for me as a big sister, I was very proud of her, because she really worked hard for it. We went out to a lounge, had food. Then we went out after the graduation. We went to breakfast with my mom, and we had a good time there, and just celebrating her. If she was happy, I was happy, my mom, it was just a great time. And then ending it off with a wedding. My cousin had a got married to his love of his life. They've been together for a long time. They have a daughter, and they made it official. Beautiful wedding, delicious food. Like, it was just this I've been just surrounded by goodness, surrounded by positivity, surrounded by good energy. And even though, I may not be doing or seeing the fruit of my labor in this moment, I am genuinely happy for those around me. Like, I am genuinely happy for my cousin to reach that milestone in age when a lot of her friends are not. A lot of her acquaintances are not. My sister to do something that she's been wanting to do for a while, and to be successful, and to get on the other side of that. My cousin to be marrying his love of his life for, and sealing a deal and making it official, and seeing them in their pure joy. Like, that just makes me so warm and fuzzy, and I'm just grateful to be a part of it. I'm grateful to be in the middle, in the mix of it, right? And so I can say truly that today my cup is full. It's full with gratitude, it's full with love. And yeah, so the seven pillars, let's jump right in. The seven pillars, the first one is emotional self-care. And with emotional self-care, it's basically understanding your emotions, your triggers, understanding how, or practical techniques or strategies to help to manage and regulate those emotions. So, knowing your triggers, I think, is a very important component. It's like, okay, well, how do I figure this out? How do I identify what my triggers are? It's a thing that when you're around a certain person or a certain experience a certain environment where you start to feel discomfort, where you start to feel agitated, where you start to feel like something's off, where you feel the need to defend yourself, you feel the need to defend others, like just really paying attention. And I'm going to say this, these 7 pillars, as I was going through this and creating my notes, I think that they kind of interlock with each other. And you'll see why as I go through them. But figuring out your triggers and managing your emotions is basically paying attention to your body, knowing yourself, or getting to know yourself and understanding what makes me feel like this. When this happens, I want to react like this, whatever that may be. And then also having the healthy versus unhealthy coping skills, right? So healthy coping skill would be maybe breath work, would be when you're starting to feel triggered, breath work, journaling, right? An unhealthy coping mechanism would be avoidance, right? That even though you feel like, oh, I'm just not going to go, I'm just not going to be around that person, and it's a family reunion. So because of this one person, you're not going to see all your other family. That's an unhealthy coping mechanism because you're just avoiding being around as opposed to being in it and using the healthy coping mechanisms to get through it. And then a part of emotional self-care is self-compassion, right? Self-love, loving yourself despite of all the things, giving yourself grace, and also forgiving yourself and forgiving others, like just self-compassion, just knowing like, okay, I am doing the best I can, what I know, genuinely though, not like I'm just, you know, sometimes people say, this is just who I am, right? And I would beg to differ because the way you're acting is what you've been doing, and you feel because you've been doing it so long, this is just who I am, but it's hurtful, it's negative, it's annoying, it's not productive. So how about you stop saying it's who I am and kind of tackle those things to become a better version of who you are, right? So yeah, so that's emotional self-care. Then we have the second pillar is physical self-care. Now, physical self-care is physical activity, taking care of your body, working out. Women lose 3% of your body mass every single year. If you ever see an older woman and she is super soft, meaning like no muscle tone, super jiggly, that's because she has not built up her muscle mass. So physical activity, walking. I started a walking group with the women of my church because I know the importance of walking. It's an underrated activity because it's just walking. It's not, you may not even, it takes a little bit before you start to sweat, or you got to walk fast in order to really feel. Walking is so important for your heart, for your cholesterol, all of those things. And it's a physical activity. I go to the gym 3 to 4 times a week. I want to start going back to this. I was taking the step class with the I think it's called a step. It's a step and you step up like aerobics, step aerobics. Amazing. Amazing. And I was doing that on top of going to the gym 3 or 4 times. But my schedule and my kids with their sports and stuff, it just didn't work out anymore. But I'm gonna get back to it. But just physical activity, uh, proper nutrition, you have to know that 80% of your health is food, the food you take, and 20% is your physical activity. So scaling back on the things that you know that are not good for you. Like, for example, red meat. I don't buy it. I don't cook it. My kids don't eat it. My husband doesn't eat it. So like if I am I'm not gonna say we're not like pescatarians or anything like that, but I don't buy it. I don't cook it. They don't eat it. If we want tacos, it's ground turkey. If we want spaghetti, it's ground turkey. If they do go to like summertime barbecues with burgers, they'll have a hamburger. They'll have a hamburger. A lot of times the places have turkey burgers, but for the most part, I'll allow them to have a hamburger, cheeseburger. If I go out to like a dinner date, or if I'm at a wedding, like at the wedding, they had filet mignon and shrimp. It was called Land and Sea. So I got the filet mignon because I don't ever eat it. So, and I understand that it sticks in your body for a long time, beef. So basically, I'm saying having the things that you enjoy in moderation, right? Taking care of your body, making sure that you're getting your vegetables in. Because I found myself not eating a lot of vegetables the last month. I bought this it's called Oxy Greens. I shouldn't have said that name because they're not endorsing me, but Oxy Greens, and it gives you your daily dose of vegetables in a day, and it's delicious. And I also, my sister has a juicer, and so I'm gonna start juicing. I got my little celery, my celery. What goes in it? Celery, green apples, pineapple, and lemon for like a detox drink. So just making sure that you're taking care of your body in any way, supplements, vitamins, multivitamins, decreasing the sugar, decreasing the carbs, not necessarily wiping it out. Because I just found out in my research that women that are 40 plus, when you work, if you work out, like overwork, you could, there's a such thing as overworking out. So I noticed, so now that I know that when I go to the gym, I kind of lessen my weights, lessen my time there because I don't want to overwork out because it kind of works against your estrogen in your body. And then eliminating carbs altogether. That is also not a productive thing for your body as a woman over 40. So those are, first of all, I was happy about that. But those are things that we don't know. And we think that we got to work out 5 days a week and we got to just eat salad and tuna and, whatever. And those things are not work with perimenopause or women in full-blown menopause. So proper nutrition, and then rest and sleep. Go to bed. Go to bed. If you get up at 6 in the morning, and I'm not gonna say like you should have 8 hours of sleep every day, right? That's probably not, everybody doesn't need 8 hours of sleep, but you should not wake up tired. You should not wake up tired. You should not wake up craving. I mean, trust me, I used to drink regular coffee and I needed it. I just need something hot every morning. But to be like, I can't focus without until I have my coffee, you're not getting enough sleep. you're you don't understand how important sleep is for your body, for your skin, for your eyes, and it's really called beauty sleep for a reason. So physical activity, proper nutrition, and rest and sleep are the top priorities for physical self-care. The third type of self-care is spiritual self-care. And that means like connecting with a higher power, whether you think it's the universe or you think it's whatever. Allah is God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. But if you, whatever that is spiritually being connected to a higher power, like almost like thinking of you charging your phone, putting your phone into the outlet is giving it the energy that it needs to work. When you tap into your spiritual self-care, you need to plug into the source to get the energy that you need to work. Okay. So again, connecting to the higher power, meditating and praying. If you're new to meditation, start with 5 minutes, start with guided. They're on YouTube, there's apps. The app I use is called Timer. It has different meditations, it has guided meditations, all of it. And it's free because I don't pay for apps. And also I use YouTube. But the what I love about meditating and praying is that it allows me to be fully present. It allows me to be still, to knock out all the noise. It takes practice and those thoughts will come, but you have to dismiss them, go back to your breathing. And it allows me to hear from God. It allows me to hear, what's my next step? What do you need from me? How can I serve? Who do I need to help? Who do I show up for? And in prayer and meditation, that's what happens. So I pray. I talk to God. I'm not always asking, but I just talk to him. I give him thanks and I acknowledge him as the head of my life. Without him, I'm nothing. And then I meditate. I'm still. I'm listening for him to talk to me, to tell me what's my next step, to tell me what to do, to tell me, if I'm on the right path, whatever that may look like. And then part of spiritual self-care is finding a community whether you're going to a church. And I know, some people feel like they don't need, especially since COVID, they can just go a virtual church or whatever. But there's something about being in the room, in the presence. It's a refueling and and we're talking about self-care. So it's gonna fill your cup up, being in the room, being in the presence. And if you go to a church and that doesn't do that for you, find another church, find another community. And it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't have to necessarily be a church, but for me, that's what it is. But I also have spiritual communities where I'm in, and we fill each other up. We pour into each other. We do different things. Like a couple of weeks ago, I went to watch the sunset with my community, and we prayed. We had our feet in the sand, the ocean running up on our legs in a circle, and we prayed. We fellowshiped. We ate. We talked. We laughed, and that was my community. Right. So taking care of your spiritual self-care is super important as well. So again, like I said, it's more than just naps and massages, ladies. It's more than just naps and massages. The fourth one is probably one of my favorite. My friends call me a nerd. I don't think I am, but intellectual self-care, which is caring for your, is like mental stimulation, right? When that's reading a book, listening to a podcast, taking a course, right? Cultivating your creative expression through playing, through daydreaming. When's the last time you sat and daydreamed and just let your mind go? And the best time to do that is like outside, just daydreaming on the rest of the day, what that would look like, what that would feel like, or daydreaming on your future, daydreaming on, you know, and then brainstorming like ideas. That's cultivating the creative expression. Another thing is critical thinking, right? Doing a puzzle that is a problem solving puzzle, like Sudoku. I used to love, I got to get back to it because I'm a forever, a lifelong learner. I love my mental stimulated. Like if 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 you want to get me into a conversation, teach me something I don't know. Tell me something uh that is interesting and that I can learn from. So that's a very, very important. Intellectual self-care. And the fifth is your social self-care. Social self-care. So this is healthy relationships versus toxic relationships. It is so important to be around people. Yeah, the couch is comfortable. Yeah, being in your own space by yourself is comfortable because you have no one, you don't have to do your hair, you don't have to take off your pajamas, whatever that is, right? But it's so important to be in, for social self-care, is being in healthy relationships. Who who can you be around where you are equally pouring into each other? Who can, and identifying those toxic relationships that literally drain your battery the moment you get there, right? Also, boundaries. Part of social self-care is having those boundaries unapologetically, knowing these are my boundaries and I'm not going to allow anyone to cross them. Um, these are my boundaries. I'm going to let someone in or not, whatever. And then with that also is community involvement. Again, like I said, you see how these pillars are kind of interchanging with each other, interlocking. Community involvement could be um, volunteering somewhere, giving back. Community involvement could be attending local community events. Community involvement can be joining social clubs, creating your own social clubs, right? So that is social self-care. And then we have two more: financial self-care. This is the one that no one wants to talk about. This is the one that everybody's like, you should see, if you're listening to audio, you should see me. Oh, oh my goodness, you can come right on over and see. But financial self-care, budgeting and saving, having a budget on and sticking to it, and then saving, um, a savings, starting with an emergency fund, $1,000 emergency cash money in your house. Budget, meaning I'm only going to spend this much on groceries this month. I'm only going to spend this much on miscellaneous and, whatever. I believe that for successful budgeting and saving, you have to have multiple bank accounts. I have one bank account that is solely for my bills. So I know exactly what my monthly bills are. They're all on auto pay, and my money goes directly there. And then the rest goes over here. And I don't have to think about it. I don't have to worry about my bills being late or anything like that because they're on auto and the money goes directly there and they're paid. But I do have to budget for the miscellaneous, the things that fluctuate like gas, or my nails and hanging out with my girlfriends, because that is definitely in the budget. Date nights, all of that stuff. So budgeting, saving, the first thing I would say is get a separate account for your for your bills, your business, your miscellaneous, your personal, and then save up your $1,000 emergency fund. Honestly, it's probably about 2,000 now. I know they've been saying $1,000 for years. I think I need to up that because the way this economy is going, right? I'm hopeful that things are going to turn around, but saving up your emergency fund, whatever amount you think that you need. And my next goal is to save up about 6 to 9 months of living expenses. So that'd be like cushion for anything, that happens, or God forbid, or whatever, because I don't work a regular W-2 job. So I have to really be intentional about making sure I pay my taxes, making sure that I'm accounting for all my money. And this is something new for me. So that is something that I'm working on too, is just maybe eventually I'm going to hire a bookkeeper or someone that can kind of manage all of that for me. But yeah, budgeting, saving, investing in yourself, whether that is literally stocks and bonds and all of that stuff, or investing in education, coaching, whatever. And then financial literacy, just understanding more about finances, how it works, interest rates, debt to income ratios, all of those things, just being financially literate. That is financial self-care. And then the final one that I really didn't really think about, or I really don't think about, is environmental self-care. And that is like having a personal sacred place for yourself. A lot of us have prayer closets, offices, in-home offices, gardens, like anything where it's personal and it's a sacred space for you to literally unveil and just be in your space and taking care of yourself. Nature connection. I talked a little bit earlier about how I love being outside. It is so refueling for me. It is a craving that I have. Like whenever I start to feel overwhelmed or frustrated or irritated, or I need to go outside. I work on my breath work, I meditate, I pray, but I need to be outside. And so nature connection is very important. And then sustainability, right? When you think about sustainability, you mean like just the ability that you're able to do it consistently and that it's not far-fetched, but more so sustainability is in taking care of yourself. You're also creating the habits for yourself, as well as benefiting the environment in some sort of way, whether that is recycling, or just being mindful of the toxics, or using natural cleaning products, or whatever that may be. So, quick recap of the 7 self-care pillars: emotional self-care, physical self-care, um, spiritual self-care, intellectual self-care, social self-care, financial self-care, and environmental self-care. So those are the 7 pillars for self-care that you need to be focusing on. So let me know in the comments, which one of the 7 pillars do you think you rate the highest in self-care, that you feel is like a non-negotiable and that you are on it? And which one do you rate the lowest, where you're like, I didn't even take that into consideration. I don't even I need to start doing that. I need to really start focusing on my financial self-care. I need to really start focusing on my social self-care. So whatever that looks like. Let me know in the comments. I would love to read it. I want to know what you're thinking. And so the mindset declaration for this episode reads, I enjoy taking care of myself. I am allowed to feel good. I love that. I enjoy taking care of myself and I am allowed to feel good. Inside, I am allowed to feel good, mind, body, and goals, right? So I love that. And what would I tell my younger self? Now, this is a part where, regarding the episode, I share some feedback on what I would tell my younger self. When I think about my younger self, I think about my nieces, right? I'm a boy mom, so I have no daughters, but I have a host of nieces and girls that I influence, girls that I coach, girls that I mentor. So what I would tell my younger self is it's important to practice self-care. If I knew about self-care at my younger age, whether that's 15, 16, 25, 31, I believe I would be able to really live a life of abundance and balance. So I would say take these 7 pillars and begin to implement them in your life today. And you will be so much further, right? So much further in life by the time you get my age. I would also say to share these pillars with your friends. Right? When you learn something new or when something impacts you or something positive is happening in your life, you want to share it. And everybody may not be ready for it, but it's still important for them to get it. And so I always, when I learn something new, I share it with my friends, and some take it and some don't. And that's okay because I did my job. I paid it forward. Right. So, yeah. So that's what I would tell my younger self. So if you enjoyed this episode, please share with at least one friend, maybe two. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell where you'll know when each episode drops. They drop every single Tuesday. Things are changing with Sis Stop Sulking. I don't know exactly what that looks like. I don't know if I'm going to maybe break up the show into seasons because I don't do seasons. I mean, I may have missed a week here or there, but I'm 110 episodes in, and the show was only just turned 3. So I'm thinking that maybe I don't know, but new things is coming. If you have any ideas or any suggestions, please don't hesitate. I am open to it. There's nothing off the table. And yeah, follow me on all social media as Tasha Talks Life or Tasha Owens. However you search it, it'll come up. Yeah, I love you. I want you to have an amazing rest of your week. I want you to be well and to know that your past, the things that happened to you, does not dictate your better future. Until next time.